जागने वाले किसी बांग दरा से दिल हो. Parachute journalism refers to a reporting style where journalists are sent into unfamiliar locations, often for a short time, to cover breaking news or major events. These reporters typically lack deep knowledge of the local context, culture, or history, which can lead to superficial or inaccurate coverage. So, in other words, this is a bad practice of journalism. Here is Mr. Harry Fear, a veteran Gaza correspondent, mentioning about parachute journalism.
Some of the kind of fanfare and ludicrous nature of television news, which I will touch on later. So going back to Gaza now, there are similar themes there as well. A lot of the journalism work that goes into producing reports in Gaza, for example, could be done anywhere in the world. There's very little with television news because it's so superficial, one-dimensional, shallow, and concise. There's very little on-the-ground investigative work necessarily normally that needs to be done, particularly for the main channels. In fact, really, you could just put a green screen behind a correspondent in a flak jacket and you wouldn't know the difference. Being on the ground is often done for the sake of being on the ground, largely speaking. So there's this idea of, if you like, parachute journalism for the fanfare of television news, where you see all these journalists living in the same hotel with their flak jackets, looking very cool, it's all very exciting. But do they really need to be there? Is it really just a waste of money so they can say on screen, correspondent is in X place? At the other end of the spectrum is the idea, if reporting is over there, correspondency, where you live and work in a place, you feel the place, you know people, you understand perhaps the culture, language, etc. And this is a very different thing. So my experience in Gaza when the war started was I'd already been there a few months, so I had, in a sense, to use this language, more of a correspondent basis there. I don't want to use the word cynical because it's not the best word, but let's say the cynical nature of the whole thing, which is that the best journalism is often the most commercially unviable journalism. That's the reality of it. The best journalism is often crowd-funded journalism because it's done independently. I mean, that's kind of I hope that kind of goes without saying. Sorry, it's better because it's crowd-funded, because you can do stuff that is not perceived to be normally otherwise commercially viable. This is the point.
Yeah, so I'll show you a few examples of parachute journalism, especially in the Western media.
What struck me, Piers, about seeing the 7th of October footage was that even the Nazis were actually ashamed of what they did. SS battalions who spent their days shooting Jews in the back of the head and pushing them into trenches.
Abbas, I just want to ask you, because the concern now, and Western analysts are watching very carefully, is on two things.
Yeah, so lastly, this type of journalism is bad journalism. Instead of going into Gaza, going into Israel, recording all the testimonies of the people there, recording all the testimonies, the detailed testimonies of how the conditions are like in Gaza, how the conditions are like in West Bank. There is just this reporter, in Israel, they're trying to show that as if this is honest journalism. This is not honest journalism. This is a bad practice. This is superficial journalism, and people usually fall to this dishonest journalism, but they shouldn't. Real journalists, real correspondents are those who are on the ground, who are with the people, who record all the testimonies of the people, honest testimonies of the people. Those are the real journalists, and those are the real correspondents. With that, Assalamu alaikum.